Welcome back to Round the Cauldron, where we talk theology, philosophy, and everyday life as a modern witch. Follow the show on social media, subscribe to the newsletter, and watch the show live on YouTube. If you like the show, please leave a review wherever you listen to help other witches find me. Don't forget, you can help support the show at patreon.com/roundthecauldron for as little as $1 a month and get patron-exclusive content. If you're ready to hop into the show, grab some coffee, pull up a seat, and join me round the cauldron. So I guess we can hop right into it. But first, I have an announcement. So, Round the Cauldron podcast turns 1 this month. 1 year I have been doing this podcast, and then, it's just grown from there. And I have the YouTube channel, I've got my website, I've got all kinds of fun stuff that I'm doing. So I am doing a giveaway. So the giveaway, it's not open yet for YouTube watchers. Podcast listeners, it will be open as of Monday, whatever day Monday is, the 9th. So the giveaway will start December 9th, and it will go all the way through the month of December, and then I will pick a winner. But let me show you what I have, what I am giving away. I have this beautiful pagan tarot deck. I will leave a link in the description and the show notes. Podcast listeners, I will post a picture of this on Instagram so that you can check it out. But also this lovely citrine crystal. Ooh. It's got kind of a yellow tint to it. I know my lighting is really weird, but I will post pictures of those up on Instagram too. So make sure that you're following me on all of my social media. Make sure that you are subscribed to my newsletter on my website, roundthecauldron.com, so that you could be notified when my shop update happens. I also send out a newsletter every full moon with like a letter and new things that I have available on the website and things like that. So today, since it's the end of 2019, I wanted to revisit my goals that I had set at the end of 2018. So if you've been around that long, great, thank you. But I set some goals on, let's see, it was episode 3 that I set goals. I think I call it Looking Back, Moving Forward episode. And I'm really surprised that I have listeners because the quality wasn't bad, but it was so quiet. And I think it's just because I was using a headset to record at the time. I hadn't really figured out a lot of the audio editing part of it to make the RMS normal and, all of the behind the scenes stuff. So it was really quiet. So if you stuck around this long, thank you. As I've grown and learned, and now I have a legitimate camera and I have a legitimate microphone. So thank you for that. But I wanted to revisit some of the goals and set some new goals for 2020. 2020, oh my goodness. So if you've listened to episode 3, these goals might sound familiar to you, but I had set the goals to finish and publish a book, to get some things situated with my health, things like expanding the website with resources, articles, printables, building an audience, and really sort of developing what I'm doing into a career path. And I accomplished some of those things. I did not publish a book. I haven't even finished a book. I have not finished writing a book. Let me move my microphone over. Yeah, I've not finished writing a book. I think I have 3 books in the process right now. 2 sort of, I have 1 guidebook, 1 tarot guidebook. So 2 guidebooks and a fiction. And I probably have a bunch of other things that are just sitting in my computer lost in the cyberspace that I forgot about. So that didn't happen. Um, Getting things situated with my health. Last year, I was struggling with like excess weight gain, and I had been diagnosed and undiagnosed with something called PCOS, so polycystic ovarian syndrome. Um, Turns out I apparently don't have that, and yeah, so I don't know. They don't really know what is the deal with the weight gain and the inability to lose weight, but I have shifted my focus there from weight loss to strength gain. I am now doing a lot of, body weight movements and really focusing on getting stronger instead of just, making that number on the scale go down because that's not accurate anyway. Um, what else? Expanding the website. So I think I've done a pretty good job with expanding the website. I still have so many ideas and so many things that I want to do for Round the Cauldron and the direction that I want to take it. It's just, I run out of time because, I quit my job a couple of months ago and I've started doing some freelance work. And sometimes I do feel like I run out of time. I do freelance uh, transcription and writing and things like that. Plus, on top of the things that I normally do, I volunteer at my daughter's school almost every day for chess club. I volunteer in her classroom once a week for about an hour. Um, and then, doing the videos and the podcasts and the writing. And I know it's seemed really hectic to me the last month because I was preparing for a craft fair that I just did this past weekend. That went really well. So now I'm probably going to have more time, but I am also in the process of uploading all of the products essentially that I didn't sell at the craft fair to my website. So there's going to be so much available, like hats and scarves and the shawls and these cute little cup cozies. I know podcast listeners, you can't see it, but I will post pictures of these on Instagram. So make sure that you're following me there. Yeah. So before I set new goals for 2020, I know I talked about this last year in episode 3 about why I don't do New Year's resolutions. And I feel like New Year's resolutions are very restrictive, and they make somebody that has anxiety like me very nervous because if I set a hard and fast resolution, then if I don't accomplish that within the specific time frame, it really bothers my mental health. So what I do instead is I set goals. And most of these goals don't have a hard and fast like due date because I work better that way with these sorts of things. But I think goals are they're really important. And when you think about it just in terms of everyday life, you set goals every day, whether you realize it or not. You think like, I'm going to go to the gym, or write them down. What is going on? My connection is unstable. No, it's not. I don't know why it's doing that. So hopefully this is still good. Yeah, so you set goals regularly, but you don't always write them down and you don't always visualize them, especially if they're just your regular daily things that you want to accomplish. So setting goals and writing them down for me is helpful for me to remember what it is that I want to do because I have a terrible memory. It is also a way for me to create affirmations within my goals. So I could have the goal of, finishing my book, finishing a book. Then I can create affirmations around that goal and make it a little bit more magical. And then, a lot of the times we have problems with setting unrealistic goals. And this always happens too with New Year's resolutions. Like someone will set a New Year's resolution to stop smoking, but that is one large goal. That's the big picture. And so say you've been smoking for years and you just set yourself the goal, like, I'm going to stop smoking this year. Okay, that's great. But what are the steps that you're going to take to do that? It can seem very overwhelming if you just have one huge goal, one big picture, but you don't know how you're going to get there. So it's very important when you're setting your goals to break them down into steps and more attainable, realistic things that you can accomplish. You don't want to set a goal to lose 100 pounds in 3 months because that's not healthy and it's not realistic. So when you're setting goals, make sure that you're setting realistic goals and that you have a way to break them down into smaller, more achievable goals that you can add like a due date to, or like a timeline. That's really important. And I'm actually going to create like a planner printable, that it'll be available for free on my website. But I want to create a planner printable that has spots for daily goals, something for like monthly goals, and then your yearly goal, your big picture goal, and really line out how you can achieve it. I'll leave a link in the description and in the show notes. My sister-in-law actually created something like that for New Year's resolutions. So I'll leave that in the description below for her website. But mine will be, I want to go more into the spiritual aspect and the magical aspect of it. I want the daily planner to have a spot for like tarot card of the day and what is today's moon phase, and astrology or today's affirmation, but then also have it be realistic and usable for the average person to have, like, here's my schedule for the day, here are my personal things that I need to get done, here are work related things that I need to get done, here are spiritual and religious things that I need to get done. Because if you're like me and things get super busy, that is the part that always falls, goes to the back burner. You have so much stuff that needs to be done to help run a household and to help earn money, take care of children, and, cook dinner, that some of those more spiritual, more religious aspects end up getting pushed back and back and back. And then eventually you are out of the habit of doing them, and you run out of time, or you get too tired, or sometimes you just forget. So that's something that I want to have done before January 1st. That's a goal for the end of 2019, is to create that planner printable. And once I have it done, I will send out an email for those of you on my newsletter. I will also be posting it on Instagram and Twitter and all of the social media places. And then I'll probably do a video and show you how I use it, but mine's going to be a little different because I have a Rocket book. So it looks like this. I have a Rocket book. By the way, this video is not sponsored. I do have an affiliate link for Rocketbook, so if you want to get one of these, you can use my link down below, in the description and in the comments when I put it there, or the show notes for podcast listeners. So I know podcast listeners, you won't be able to see this, but the Rocketbook. Do I have any water? I have water. the Rocket is erasable. So, here's my notes for today. And you use these special pens that you can get on, I got mine on Amazon. But then once you're done, you take a picture of it using the Rocketbook app, and it uploads it to the cloud, or it sends it as an email or something like that. And then when you're done, you take some water. So my finger's wet here. You can see. And it erases. So I'll make the printable thing as a PDF first, so that you guys can download it and print it out. But mine, I am actually going to take a Sharpie and create a page in my Rocketbook so that I can erase it when I'm done for the day. Because being more eco-friendly, I'm trying not to use as much paper, which is another of my goals for 2020, is to do more of the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle, but also to be more eco-friendly and green conscious, So that's that. I'm going to do that for this. And then, yeah. So some of the goals that I have for 2020, obviously I'm going to move some of them from 2019 to 2020 because I didn't accomplish them, but that's okay. So I wrote them down, and they are a combination of personal things and things that I want to do for Around the Cauldron, but then there are also things that I want to do spiritually and religiously that will help me to grow as a spiritual person and in my religious beliefs. So I'm speaking my goals out loud, sort of as an affirmation, making a spell for my goals for 2020. And this is what they are. I will finish a book. I will publish that book, whichever book it may be. Then I will grow my Patreon community. So if you don't know Patreon, I have a Patreon, patreon.com/roundthecauldron. I give patron exclusive content over there. If you sign up for it for as little as $1 a month, it helps to support the work that I do here, and then you get something out of it as well. I'd like to grow that more. I'm not going to lie, for the income part, but also because community is something that I really lack where I am physically. And I'm not really a part of a lot of online communities. And I think having a community for your spirituality, for your religious beliefs, for your witchcraft is very important. It's important to be included and have like-minded people that you can join and have conversations with and have discussions with, ask questions, learn from, teach, and just talk. That's something that is really important just as human beings. That's something that is psychologically important for our species. So I'd really like to either build my Patreon community or my Facebook page or something, really build the community around this so that we have people to talk to, we have people to ask questions to, and we have people to discuss topics with that we either 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So that would be helpful in that aspect. But money pagans and as people that sort of belong to the fringe religions, I think, again, that community is really important. And then as far as personal goals go, I used to be an avid reader. I used to read books all the time. And I want that to be a goal for me in 2020, is to read more books, or just read more in general. And at this point, I don't have a set, like, I'm going to read one book a week, or I'm going to read one book a month, or something like that. I just want to read more and get back into that because it is something that I enjoy. I just have to make the time to do it. I also want to, as far as spiritual practices go, um, I will be attempting to do a daily meditation and sort of like spiritual yoga. Um, I always start it, but then I get really busy and I just forget, or I get really tired and I end up going to sleep. And I need to make it a point to practice that, to do those things that will help me grow spiritually and help me be content and happy with my spiritual life. Um, you know, and meditation is important. I haven't done an episode on meditation yet, so I will someday, but meditation is important, and there's more than one way to meditate. And yes, I'm going to do an episode on meditation, but it's really good for your mind, it's really good for your body and your soul and your spirit. So that is something that I am going to incorporate more daily come 2020. Um, I also want to teach my daughter something new. I don't know what, but I want to teach her something new. She has been trying to learn how to crochet with me, and she's got the slip knot down. Like, she can do that part. But the learning how to chain and how to turn her chain and do some of the stitches, it's a little more difficult for her. But she seems to enjoy it. She just gets frustrated. And, she's 6, so I don't blame her. But I want to teach her something new, something that she wants to learn how to do or learn about. And I think that's a really good goal to have, because maybe it's something that we both know absolutely nothing about. Maybe we can learn it together. Um, and then I also, as far as my spirituality goes, I need to do more. I need to learn more. I need to speak with my goddess more. I need to I need to do more with that. I don't feel like I do enough. I don't feel like I know enough about this particular path, especially coming from being Wiccan for so long. Moving on to a new path I'm not going to say it can be hard. It is hard, especially when it's something that you don't know much about. So moving into a Celtic pagan path has been difficult for me, because I don't know much, and a lot of the information that's out there is clouded with Christianity, or it's just hidden and it's hard to find. So I am going to make it my mission for 2020 to learn more and to do more with my Celtic pagan faith and my relationship with the goddess Brigid. Um, I need to do more. I do daily offerings, of either incense or candles or sometimes sweet cream, um, but more can be done. And I will definitely be taking that further, in the coming year. So I guess the whole point of me going through and talking about my goals, for the next year, is to be completely transparent with you guys. I mean, I have nothing I have nothing to hide. This is, round the cauldron, everyday life as a modern witch, and a modern witch deals with things like this regularly. Um, this isn't just witchcraft for everybody, or this isn't just Wicca 101. This is important discussions and topics that affect everyone differently, and things that everyone goes through: paying bills, taking care of sick family members, um, it's everyday life. And my goal with Round the Cauldron is to, yes, teach and be helpful, but also to learn from everyone else and to be transparent and show you that witchcraft isn't always the woo woo that you see on Instagram or in the movies. We're just regular people like everyone else. We just have different beliefs and we have different practices. And regular people deal with regular things just like us. So that is my hopes for 2020. I'll probably end up thinking of more things to add to it. I might break down some of those in like a blog post or something. Or I could talk about it now. Um, Especially if you guys don't really know how to break down the bigger picture, because that's something that took me a little bit to practice, is how to break down the bigger picture into smaller goals so that I could achieve the things that I wanted to achieve. So we'll use one of my goals as an example. Finishing a book. So I'll use one of them as an example. I started writing a Wicca workbook in 2018, and I'm going to continue writing it, but it's about halfway done. I believe it's about halfway done. So if I have the bigger goal of finishing a book, right? Finishing a book, that's the big goal, that's the big picture. What steps do I need to take to reach that big picture? So the goals that I could set to finish writing my book by the end of the year, by the end of 2020, is like write for 30 minutes every day, or write 2,000 words every day. And then once all the writing is done, then my goals would. Hey there, this is editing Megan here. I don't know what happened, but during the live stream towards the end, the last couple of minutes, um, everything like stopped working. So I'm sorry that the podcast cut off. The end, you didn't really miss much. Just some rambling about me setting my goals and how I plan to accomplish that. So, again, I do apologize about that. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Hopefully, it doesn't happen again. So, until next time, everyone, bye for now.